He was just a boy, born in a place where dreams were a luxury and hope was something people spoke about but never chased. His name was Ibrahim. Every morning, before the world woke up, he would whisper to himself, "One day, I'll change everything." He wasn't born into comfort or privilege. His home was small, his clothes simple, his meals never certain. But his heart carried something rare, a fire that refused to go out. When other children played, Ibrahim worked. Every afternoon, after school, he sat outside his small mud house, carving wooden toys from scraps he found near the fields. He wasn't just carving wood, he was shaping his dream. When he finished, he'd walk to the village market with a basket full of toys. His hands were tired, his feet covered in dust, but his eyes, they were full of hope. He'd stand there all day, selling his toys to anyone who would stop and look. People laughed. They said, "What can a poor boy do with a dream?" But Ibrahim didn't stop, because he believed dreams are not made for those who already have everything. They're made for those who have nothing, but believe in something. Each coin he earned, he saved, not for sweets, not for clothes, but for school fees. He wanted to study, to learn, to break the walls that life had built around him. Even when the sun burned his skin, he stood there. Even when it rained and his toys got wet, he stood there. Even when hunger made his body weak, he stood there. Because he knew, dreams don't grow in comfort. They grow in struggle. One day as he stood in the market, something unexpected happened. A man stopped in front of him, an old school teacher with kind eyes. He picked up one of the wooden toys and asked, "How much for this, son?" Ibrahim lowered his eyes. "Just 5 rupees, sir." The teacher smiled gently. "I'll take all of them," he said. Ibrahim froze. The man nodded. "Yes, but I'm not buying your toys, son. I'm buying your dream." That day, the teacher paid him more than money. He gave him something priceless: belief. Before leaving, he placed a hand on the boy's shoulder and said, "Never stop carving your dreams, Ibrahim. One day, the world will buy them all." That night, Ibrahim couldn't sleep. He sat under a flickering lantern, his toys by his side, his books open before him. He read, he learned, he dreamed, because now, someone believed in him, and that was enough to move mountains. Years passed. The boy who sold toys became the boy who studied by candlelight. The boy who studied became a man who worked harder than anyone else. He failed many times, but every time he fell, he remembered the teacher's words, "Never stop carving your dreams." And so he kept going, through hunger, through failure, through nights of loneliness and days of doubt, until one day, everything changed. He graduated as an engine. The boy who once sold wooden toys had now learned to build bridges, real ones, and the invisible kind that connect people's hearts. But Ibrahim never forgot where he came from. He returned to his village, the same dusty streets, the same small market where he once stood as a child. But this time, he came back not to sell dreams, but to build them. He built a school right there, on the same ground where he used to sell his toys. When it was finished, he wrote a message on the school wall. Here, dreams are not sold, they are built. And every child who entered that school carried a part of his story, the story of a boy who refused to give up, who believed when no one else did, who turned his pain into purpose and his struggle into strength. Years later, when people in the village spoke of him, they didn't just call him an engineer. They called him something far greater, the boy who sold dreams. So, if you ever feel like giving up, if people laugh at your dreams or tell you that you're not enough, remember Ibrahim. Remember the boy who stood alone in the market with nothing but faith in his heart. Because sometimes, The world won't see your worth until you show them what belief can build. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Be the first one to believe in yourself. Because one day, when your dream comes true, the same people who laughed will tell your story, and they'll say, "This was the boy who sold dreams."